Hey everyone!
Hey, Riley. So, what do you have for us today?
So, if you were unaware, I'm a big ol' lesbian. Just really fucking gay. I'm a girl who likes girls.
Here's the thing, Riley. A lesbian is a woman who is only attracted to other women. As you're a biological man, you cannot be a woman, and therefore you cannot be a lesbian. You see how this works? No actual woman refers to herself as a girl. Stop infantilizing women, man. That's just creepy.
Every time I take a step, I leave a rainbow footprint behind, and every time I sneeze, rainbows come out.
This man is a fucking joke, I swear.
I was even called a lesbian icon one time in this article about how Harry Styles is apparently a lesbian icon, but he's no Riley J. Dennis. Legitimately, one of my friends sent me that article like, oh my god, you're the basis for who is a lesbian icon.
A little research got me here. What you see on the screen is the author of the article named Yas Negedi. When you dig a little deeper in her activism, you understand pretty quickly why she claimed that a trans-identified male can be a lesbian icon.
Getting more rights, changes in terms of them being allowed into spaces without being raided and things like that. But then there was a massive public backlash anytime any sort of change happened. And it's the same with trans people now. And of course, gay people, queer people still are discriminated against now, but you can see it with trans people so much more, I think, in the mainstream media, so much more. And it's almost as if those identities are up for debate rather than just something that's accepted as, well, that's somebody's identity and we should work as a society to become more accommodating for people who identify to a different gender than the one that was initially on their birth certificate.
In the same article that Riley cited, you can find the following text, which confirms that trans ideology is basically reinforcing gender stereotypes on gender non-conforming individuals. The big question is, why Harry Styles? What does he have in common with Tegan and Sarah or Shane from the L Word? Yeah, he has great hair, and yeah, he wears some of the most beautiful suits I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, he has tattoos on a par with Ruby Rose. And even I'll admit, he's not bad looking for a guy. He's no Harry Fitz or Andrea Gibson, but he could pass as a cute little lesbian if he tried.
And you know what? I have accepted this mantle. I am officially a lesbian icon.
This man declaring himself as a lesbian icon. That's laughable, but that's where we are now. If anything, you're the icon of forcing lesbians into having sex with men and guilt-tripping them.
And if you have a problem with that, you can take it up with my assistant, my manager. I don't have any of those things. Just keep it to yourself.
Straight homophobic guy telling me to shut the fuck up? Well, I won't. At least not until you and the other queer trans rights activists leave lesbians the fuck alone.
I wanted to talk about some of the struggles that come with being a lesbian.
As if he knows what being a lesbian feels like.
Now look, I abso-fucking-lutely love being gay, but homophobes can definitely make my life difficult sometimes.
But homophobes can definitely make my life difficult sometimes.
Friendly reminder that trans women can be lesbians. Trans lesbians are beautiful, wonderful, magical humans. Ooh, when TERFs hate trans people, it's not the L against the T because many of us are the L and the T. It's transphobes against trans people, including lesbians and bisexuals, because newsflash, many trans folks are not straight. Trans lesbians are just as fucking gay as cis lesbians.
Here's the thing. I don't want to have sex with people that have penises either. But there are a lot of things I used to hate that I like now.
You guys are so fucking painful with this, you might like it shit. Let it go. It's a profoundly creepy message to send to anybody.
Obviously, no one chooses their sexual orientation. Your sexual orientation chooses you. It's like a wand, except everyone who gets the rainbow wand gets fewer civil rights.
Suggesting that someone should try something that they haven't before because they have negative preconceived ideas about it is not creepy.
Lots of the stuff on this list will apply to lesbians, but also to bisexual girls and pansexual girls and queer girls and non-binary folks.
These like third/other gender, bigender, trigender, two-spirit, non-binary, and probably much more.
In the queer community, we all have a lot of shared experiences, but as your local lesbian, I'm gonna mainly be talking about things I've noticed in my own life.
As your local lesbian. It's kind of terrifying to see that's the kind of representation that the lesbian community has to deal with.
So, number one, I've just moved to a new country to be with my girlfriend. And usually when I tell people I'm new here, their first question is, what made you move out to Sydney? And I wanna say, oh, I was long distance with my Australian girlfriend for 2 years, and I just moved here to be with her, but also because I like traveling and living in new places. But what I usually end up saying instead is, oh, I just like living in different places, wanted to try something new, you know? And I thought Australia would be fun. Cause I don't know, obviously when I meet people who I know are queer, I'm okay talking about my girlfriend, but with just random people, I'm never quite sure how they'll react, and I'm often in situations where I don't want to be dealing with homophobic bullshit if I'm just having small talk with this person for a bit and then leaving.
There is no stigma at all for straight people to talk about their love life in a social situation, so I don't know why are you scared to talk about your girlfriend.
And I know I could say, I moved here to be with my partner. But then, one, they might assume I'm dating a guy, and I would never want anyone to think I'm dating a boy.
First, I'm gonna stop you right there. You know that the word boy refers to underage males? So I hope to fucking God that you wouldn't date one. Second, you shouldn't be so fearful that people would think you would be interested in men, because it was clear from the beginning that, well, you're a straight guy.
The second one is, I fucking hate the dirty looks I sometimes get while walking around holding hands with my girlfriend or when I'm hugging her or kissing her in public. Like, straight people can fucking make out in the middle of a busy road in the pouring rain and people will call it romantic and like cheer for them. But if I have a little peck with my girlfriend while waiting in line at a fast food place, people can just be shitty about it.
There is something really, well, insulting about a straight guy appropriating the struggles of being same-sex attracted, and in this case, being a lesbian.
Number three is that I really feel like it limits our travel options quite a bit. Like, there are plenty of countries and cities and regions that are just openly hostile to queer people.
These countries are hostile to homosexual people, not to queer people.
That I mean there are entire countries where being gay is illegal, and others where it is legal, but so hugely frowned upon that I wouldn't feel safe. And even within the US, there are towns and areas where I do not feel comfortable in the slightest. Sometimes I just wonder what it would be like to be able to travel anywhere without worrying about getting beaten or killed or assaulted just because of your sexual orientation.
The situation for lesbians and gay men is still complicated, but again, Riley, the laws implemented in these countries are based on the attraction of the same sex, not gender identity. Because they know what a homosexual is, the definition hasn't changed since human history. As they know what a man and a woman is, you shouldn't be worried about being killed for being same-sex attracted. Let's take the example of Saudi Arabia. While this country persecutes homosexuals on a legislative level, there are no laws for trans-identified individuals. What should worry you, though, is the persecution that people face based on the principle of impersonation of women and men, and cross-dressing to some extent.
Number four is sometimes I see a girl and I'm just really like, I don't know if I want to kiss you or I just want to be you, you know? Some girls just have the coolest fucking style where I'm just like, I need to try that kind of look, or like, I really want to style my hair like that or do my makeup like that. But other times it's just like, nah, I appreciate your aesthetic, but it's not mine and I'm really attracted to you.
Fucking hot do I look? Seriously.
How should your dressing?
I know.
Hey, your tan is legit the hottest thing I've ever seen. You're so dark. You're like a Latina.
How good is it?
It's amazing.
So cool.
Your hair extensions are so hot.
I know.
Goodness.
Check them out. They seem really real.
Number five is that I hate that for the longest time I thought I had to like boys. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but this is an experience I found I have in common with a lot of my lesbian friends. A bunch of us tried really hard to like guys when we were younger, even though we were pretty confident we didn't like guys, because society was just so convinced we had to. And it sucks that we had to go through that because it was so unnecessary.
What do you mean? You were born a boy and grew up to be the man that you are now. You didn't face shit. Lesbians had to deal with societal expectations of having to be with a man and getting married. If anything, you're part on the other side, with men forcing lesbians into having sex with them.
And number 6 is that the queer nightlife tends to be run by cis white gay men and is mostly geared towards gay men. Some places will have like one lesbian night a week or once a month, but queer girls just don't have the same plethora of options that queer men do.
Cis gay men. You mean gay men? Since when did we become a subcategory of men? There is no such thing as cis. Either you are a man or you are not. Simple as that. As for lesbian spaces, you're part of the problem. As we saw in the beginning of the video, a lesbian is a woman who is only, exclusively, attracted to other women. So if lesbians try to create a space only for them, it gets shut down for being transphobic. And you know what? For a lesbian space not to be a lesbian space anymore, it only requires just one man to be in it. Unfortunately, nowadays, in order for a lesbian space to be valid, it has to include men like you.
I don't drink, so clubs and bars are generally not my scene, but I still like getting to know other queer folks and socializing and stuff. Not all the time, because I'm pretty introverted, but everyone needs community and people around them.
For someone who claims to be introverted, you sure open your mouth a lot about how lesbians should suck your dick.
Number 7 is it sucks that TERFs pretend to speak for all lesbians. TERFs are the worst, and they have no place in the queer community. That's all I have to say about that.
In other words, lesbians are hateful for being same-sex attracted, and women who acknowledge the reality of biological sex and its implications must be silenced. Okay, got it.
And for number 8, I kinda wanna end on a more lighthearted one, so I just need to complain about all the fucking hair in my apartment. Like, I know some girls have short hair and some boys have long hair, but when two femme girls with long hair are dating, there's just hair everywhere.
It's getting clear that this dude has no clue what oppression is. His homophobic ideas are starting to have a real-life impact, and the LGBT community is larped with these fetishists appropriating womanhood and same-sex attraction. We need to get vocal about this before we lose the rights that other lesbians and gay men fought hard to get. And as for me, I'll continue to speak about this issue until my last fucking breath.
Shut up and sit down.